Hello, 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 hello. Happy Thursday. We're here. Make sure you hit that like button. Drop some blue hearts in the chat. Say hi to each other. Share the stream. I believe in you. You can do all those things. We're getting started in just another moment. I'm glad YouTube is back and fixed. Baja. Yo, what's good? It's me, you guy, all the way from Bed-Stuy, Habbo, and we're back here for live drawing session number 162. Is it 162? Robbin Peter to pay Paul. Yes. What's up to Kunam and Coco in the chat and everyone else that's lurking and coming in? I do appreciate all the folks that watch the replays as well. But yeah, we are here. Last night was weird because apparently YouTube updated some visual components and everything just fell apart for like a few hours. So when I was streaming, people couldn't get on. When I was trying to like look at videos, there were some videos that worked, some videos that didn't. Mark Lamont Hill had issues with his live, I think, when he was trying to go live last night. It was a big mess. So if you missed that stream, sorry, let me put this on vibrate. If you missed that stream, you can go watch the replay. Some really cool live improv. Still practicing, still trying to get the hang of things, with the launch key and making music as to none. But yeah, good to see y'all back here. And here are some things to go over that are coming up this very weekend. So first and foremost, on Saturday, the Afrovisionaries Museum field trip is heading to Mokata, downtown Brooklyn. That's Saturday, October 18th from 2 to 6 p.m. You still have time to RSVP. Link is in the chat. It's pinned. I believe I pinned it. It should be pinned. Also, that following Sunday, literally the next day, our Creators Circle, our first artist development workshop, is a more casual experience versus the grant writing workshop, where we air out our grievances, vibe with each other, and figure out solutions and brainstorm in ways to find our style, our voice, and sustainable practice. So still time to RSVP to both of these events right on Eventbrite. So hit that link right there, pinned in the chat, head on over and RSVP so we can see y'all this weekend. It's going to be great. It's going to be a fun weekend. I'm excited. Also, I forgot to mention, tomorrow night is our movie night. We're watching The Blackening. We're screening The Blackening. So pull up, come through. We're going to have a little bit of a discussion afterwards, kind of analyzing the film, talking about how it subverts a lot of Black horror tropes and plays into them a little bit as well. So make sure you come through for that. If you're a member of the Discord, you know what to do. If you're not a member of the Discord, you want to be a part of these experiences, head on over to patreon.com/Habtunes. We are grateful for our sponsors, our lovely and dedicated Patreon members. Also, thank you to Rufire Star for becoming a channel member, YouTube channel member. Appreciate that as well. So head on over to patreon.com/Habtunes. It gives you access to our Discord for all the events that we have going on, whether it's a game night, a movie night, drink and draw, all those things and more. So pull up. Just $1 a month, you get access to behind the scenes, exclusive art and videos, and a whole bunch of stuff that I'm working on. and I'm trying to get things up. I have like a backlog of things that I'm working on to put up on Patreon. And actually, one of those things is something you'll see a little bit of tonight as well. So yeah, it's going to be exciting. Other than that, I think that's pretty much it. You know, aside from you heading over to RCP for this event that's happening on the 24th, I'll be putting up some new work alongside some fellow artists at Z's Wine and Beer on the 24th for Undescribed Vibe, a art exhibition and poetry night, open mic night. It's going to be a good time. It's going to be a good time. And last but not least, the Haptone Shop. We got some stickers, we got art prints, we got hats. There's more stuff on the way. I guarantee you. I promise you. I know I say that. It's happening. I'm just one person doing all these things. So be patient with me. And yeah, you'll be kindly rewarded. But yeah. It's been a pretty interesting week for sure. Productive, but also reflective at the same time, I will say. And there's always this moment where I'm just like, oh yeah, maybe I could do this differently, or maybe I can pull back on doing this, or maybe I should do this a little bit more, or whatever the case may be. But all good things are headed this way. Rest assured, we are doing some exciting things with the channel and with Habtunes at large. I'm really excited about this new journey in music making as this new artist persona that I have. Oh yeah, that's on Bandcamp. The two I have an EP. Just crazy to say. I have an EP on Bandcamp and a single on Bandcamp as well. If you're on Patreon, you got both of those things to download for free. I'm still experimenting and learning how to play that instrument, and I definitely want to put some more stuff up before the year is over. Maybe like one more EP or something like that. I do have some Unit 333 stuff that's ready to go up, but yeah. Other than that, still just finding my way through it. It took me a whole day to figure out the name and the meaning behind it, right? So you just gotta be patient. It's gonna take time. But without further ado, we're gonna jump into the art. I'm also gonna play the music I made the other day from on the live streams. Why not? Why not? That's what I'm doing it for, right? So I can play things and not have to worry about copyright issues because it's mine. It's mine. All right, so let me introduce y'all or reintroduce y'all to Baja Moniqua and Abemi. Oh yeah, we back at it, baby. Let's get this going. Thank you, Coco. I appreciate that. So essentially, I wanted to jump back on that project that I started like 3 years ago and just kind of touch up on the designs and make them a little bit more fun, especially for Moniqua. I got some ideas. This is one of them. I think this is kind of like where the final piece is going to be at, you know. And there's Bemi as well, which I don't know if that's going to be her final outfit, but that's just one for now. I don't know, but we'll see. Either way, I want to get the ball rolling. I want to get the ball rolling. So this is not, I don't know how loud this is. This is not like the final image. I'm gonna do it to completion just to kind of see. But like, I think for sure I'm definitely gonna make her head a little bit narrower, like the previous incarnation of it. Because her head is like too wide, you see, versus like the original one. I gotta figure out how to, I think what I'm gonna do with the hair, keep it like as is and just the 3 big buns, right? Instead of just the 2 in the back. I think that kind of overcrowded her head. The nose is a little different now. And obviously I gave her like a cloak. I'm playing around with the idea for the cloak. I'm thinking of something that's similar to, like how you would see those mysterious characters in cartoons where they just have like their mouth covered all the time. Kind of play around with that. There's also a mask component as well that I'm going to get into once I lay down the colors. But yeah, I think I prefer this over the original, even though the original was still fun and playful. You know, this is good meditation music. Good. I'm glad it serves a purpose. And it's available on my channel for ever and ever for you to keep going back to and using for meditation. So, yeah. Thanks. I'm glad you like the idea of the cloak. I think also going forward too, like to kind of get more bang for my buck and also for y'all as well. For specific projects, I think we're just going to have like a Patreon only or YouTube members only live where we just work on stuff that I don't want to show to the public just yet. Stuff like this, right? Like the early concept stages of a brand new project, talking about the ins and outs of the design process, kind of showing all the nitty gritty details of putting something like a comic together. Now that I can stream directly to Patreon, I still got to figure out how to get the Streamlabs thing to work. But now that I can stream directly to Patreon, that's definitely something I want to start doing more. So consider this like the opening act of this journey. Without giving too much away, this comic narratively is kind of the jumping off point for everything else that happens. So that's like Epic Ethel, Best Side Story Guy, etc., 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 etc. And it's supposed to be kind of, lighthearted and fun, but still like mature. Like you no matter like what your age is, you can still get into this. I want it to be like an all ages type of thing. And what I'm doing with it is something that I don't think I've seen. I've probably seen it once, but it's not a very common concept. The way the comic is going to play out. I don't want to give too much away right now, but if you were here like 2-3 years ago, you probably remember what I'm talking about. It's going to be short though. I want to aim for like maybe 15, 20 pages. 15 definitely. Anything more than that, maybe, I don't know, that might be a little much, but I think like 15, quick little one shot, maybe 20 pages. We'll see. I gotta outline it. I typically go just off of pure outlines. Like I don't necessarily write full scripts of things. I just write a synopsis of something, and then then the story just kind of creates itself. It like starts to live on its own, going with the flow, so to speak, right? So it's like, let's say I got the beginning and it's like, oh, blah 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 happens, and then because a character looks really cool in one scene, or I feel like this other character should, be important, then the story shifts a little bit. So the middle, the beginning, and the end are definitive, but everything that happens in between is in flux until it's actually like on paper, if that makes sense. Roofire, what's good? Also, I wanted to thank you for joining the YouTube membership, becoming a BB's bestie. I didn't get a chance to the other day. I didn't even realize it until after the fact. What did I do? But yeah, typically 9 times out of 10, there's always like beginning and end, and then like the middle part is always just kind of like, let's see what happens. You know, that's how Unit 333 was. That's how Epic Ethel has always been. That's how Best I Sword Guy has always been. That's just, I don't know who else does it like that. That's just, it just works for me. And maybe that's too like bizarre, but you know, it's my life. It's my life. It's my money and I need it now. It's my money and I need it now. It's your money. Use it when you need it. I wonder, do I want to go just like slightly up a shade? Slightly. Still want her to be dark. That's always been an important thing for Habtoons. Majority of my 99.9% of my characters are all dark skinned on purpose. The good guys, the bad guys. There are some lighter tone folks here and there, but I consciously made an effort to make sure that most of all of my characters are like medium brown or darker. And with Moniqua, the purple is just like a aesthetic choice. I've seen it used in other spaces before. I think it's cool as far as like stylization goes, especially since the contents of the actual comic are pretty colorful. There was what show was that where they had? Because I know Lascars did it, the French animated movie, and there was like some other show where they had like blue, purple, yellow, green people. What was that? I can't remember what it was, but y'all probably know what I'm talking about. Y'all probably seen something like that before, regardless. I've never watched Coraline. No, I take that back. I have tried to watch Coraline, and each time that I try to watch it, I fall asleep. Every time that I've attempted to watch Coraline, I've fallen asleep. Nah, it's not Doug, it's more contemporary. It's like, probably like maybe 10, 15 years old. There's another one that came up in my head. I mean, Doug is an example of that, but that's not the one I was thinking. We love dark skin representation, says Coco in the chat. Yes. Also, y'all, one of my favorite visual artists passed away, man. You may know his work. You've definitely seen his work before if you've seen posters for like Blade Runner, Harry Potter, Indiana Jones, Star Wars. Drew Struzan, he passed away. He had developed Alzheimer's, and he passed away on Monday. I think he was 70 or 78. I can't remember the exact age, but just terrible news to hear, you know. It's always awful to hear when people die, but when artists like D'Angelo, you know, pass away, or like Drew Struzan, you know, it's just heavy because these are our people. These are our people. these are people who have inspired so many, right? D'Angelo has a lot of people. There's a lot of people in the music industry that are the offspring of D'Angelo. There are a lot of people in the visual arts industry, specifically for like poster design, that are the offspring of Drew Struzan, you know. So it's just like heavy to feel the weight of, you know, their legacy just kind of like get hit in that way, for lack of a better term. So definitely rest in
fireworks.
Rest in power to D'Angelo. Rest in power to Drew Struzan. Also, I didn't know that he was with. I didn't know D'Angelo was with Angie Stone. Like, I didn't know they were like together. I found that out this week. It's interesting because I also learned that they were like 12 years apart or something like that. So I wonder how like they got together and like how that like came about, you know? Because like, did he approach her? Did she approach him? What was the context of it? Not that it like, you know what I mean? But yeah, it's like, huh. Because how old was he when she was talking to him? He was 19. How old was she? If she was like, oh, yeah. If he was like already in his like mid 20s, late 20s, and they started talking, then it wouldn't be that weird. It wouldn't be weird. But for him to be 19, still a kid, you know what I'm saying? Even though we feel, even though legally 18 is where adulthood starts, that's not really where adulthood starts mentally. You know what I'm saying? For the average person. But I'm not gonna jump on the speak ill of the dead right now. I just thought that was interesting. What else was interesting was, because I played Red Dead 2, and I remember when they were like talking about the ending in the song that played at the end, that was all D'Angelo, but I never knew the story behind how it got to that point, because he was originally a fan of the first game, and he reached out to Rockstar and like wanted to do a song. Essentially, that's basically like the shortened version, abbreviated version of the story. And it was like, yeah, come on. And it's a beautiful song. It's a really beautiful song. And there's two variations to it, depending on how you play as Arthur. If you're like full outlaw or lawful. Rufire says it's also hard when an artist's work is popular but people aren't familiar with the artist's name. I could take that with a grain of salt, because we have to understand that like the world doesn't revolve around the things that we like and enjoy. So there are people who probably will never know who D'Angelo was or who Drew Struzan was, because that's even though they're world renowned, like they're very popular, you know what I mean? Like, people live in specific types of societies, people live and do specific types of things where they probably don't listen to R&B, or they don't look at visual art, or, you know what I'm saying? I guarantee you right now there's a person in this world, and of course there is, because there's people that don't get on the internet, there's people that don't live the way we do, that don't know who Beyonce is, you know what I'm saying? So I don't get too hung up on that end of it unless they're being disrespectful. Now, if they don't know who this person is and they're curious about them and want to learn, that's fine. But if you're like, oh, who the fuck cares, or whatever kind of vibe attitude, then that's the problem. At least for me. And I saw a little bit of that a few days ago on Threads. I saw a little bit of that. You know, just white people being racist and raccoons being raccoons, you know. So we're probably gonna do, we're not gonna do Bemi tonight. I'll most likely, you know what, yeah. So I'll save Bemi and everything else concerning this particular project. That's gonna be a members only, Patreon only stream and video thing going forward. So tonight we're just working on Moniqua. And I do wanna like at least try to get a concept sketch of the mask, because I want her to wear a mask too. Because what we're going for, or what I'm going for, we, I guess me, myself, and I, right? That's a we. What I'm going for is a liminal, and I guess that's kind of the common theme throughout all my work. Liminal space. A Mobius type of aesthetic, you know, travel, what's the word I'm looking for? What am I looking for? I don't know if there's a word for it, but like masked adventurer traveling across desolate lands, whatever genre you want to call that, if that is a genre. That's what this is going to be. She had a mask before, but it was terrible. It was just like a really simple, stupid, basic ass thing. And I want to do something that's going to pay homage to some form or some part of our diaspora, whether it's Black American or African, Caribbean, just like a blending of all those things, you know, just like with the name that I chose for my music persona. I want to make it iconic, you know what I mean? Like I want it to stand out. Brewfire says, sometimes I think about which artist's name gets veneration and which gets no saying. D'Angelo falls in the spectrum. I don't know, kind of feel bad, not in a bad way, but I wish the medium got the same level of attention of care as the others. For example, like directors' film get a lot of notoriety, but like editors and sound Foley artists don't. I'm gonna sit with that before I respond. That's something I'm trying to practice too. I feel like we all do that, right? It's like we hear something and then we just want to immediately say something right after. I get what you're saying, and that's why we have credits. But with credits, the unfortunate thing is, if you're not interested in that, the average person is not going to be looking at the credits. The only reason why people used to stay for credits for a movie, at least in the movie theater, was because of Marvel's post-credit scene trend that happened like, what, 10, 20 years ago. And I don't know how we would be able to give like prominent recognition to every single person, a team of like, you know, 100 people in that same manner as a director, because on that same note, the person that put all the strings together makes sense for them to have the most honor and recognition because they had that vision that the team weren't able to pull off without them. You get what I'm saying? So like, just thinking off the top of my head, Hideo Kojima, right? He's one of the most popular game developers in the gaming industry. I think we've deified him a little bit too much. I think he's smelling himself a little bit. However, he has created, written, and directed some of the most iconic video games in history. Yes, have teams of people worked on these games, programmers, Foley artists, character designers, animators in every different capacity? Absolutely. But are these people also the same? What's going on here? Are these people also capable of doing what he does, which is create that entire vision, to tell them what to do and how to do it, to give direction, to give guidance? And that's for the people that are actually great at what they do. Because there's some people I feel like don't deserve that recognition. But I will say we do need to figure out how can I say this? So when Him came out, a lot of people thought, was it Him? What movie was that? It was some movie that Jordan Peele produced. He didn't write, but he produced it, meaning he was able to fund it and put it out. But there was a person that was it Candyman? Yeah, that was Nia DaCosta, but everybody thought it was Jordan Peele. You know? So we got to figure out a way to differentiate for the sake of who the actual creator is. Because I think we get caught up in those names, those deified names, because Jordan Peele at this point is a deified name, right? You put his name on something, you slap his name on something, people are probably going to go see it 9 times out of 10. Same thing with Ryan Coogler, right? Ryan Coogler, what's up, y'all? And that's like a Hollywood thing, right? They do that on purpose. But I get what you're saying with your point, though. That's what I'm trying to say. Yeah, I think it was him as well, because I don't think he made Him. I think he just produced it. I think he just put it out, but I don't think he was the actual, if I remember correctly, he's not the actual writer and director of the film. He just has his name on it as like producer. Monkey Project Production, they like produced it. It's like he has the eye and the vision for aesthetics that align with what he likes and what he feels that his audience will like. And that's not something everybody has. That's not a talent everybody has. Like a curator for a museum, you know what I mean? These are things that are intrinsic to very specific types of individuals. It's funny because I kind of had a conversation similar to this with Jamal, who's going to be on this Sunday's episode of The Art Block. Y'all should check him out. Jamal Creates. He is a game developer, pixel artist, 3D artist, all around like multi-hyphenated, really great guy. And we kind of like touched on that a little bit when it comes to not just credit, but like also how people are paid, right? His perspective on it was And I won't say like the whole thing because I want y'all to watch the episode when it come out on Sunday. But basically what he was saying was that he not bigger than the program. Nobody else should be bigger than the program. So everybody should be getting paid an equal amount. Which I found to be an interesting perspective, but I'm not sure how that would like play out in practicality for every single scenario. For some things, yes. For everything, not sure. All right, I see where I'm definitely going to be editing this design just slightly. I can already see. Yeah, already see. Rufire says, I'm not saying directors shouldn't get credit, but I'm saying that it isn't solely just director's vision. A film is not made by one person. All parts work to be more than the sum of their parts. Like, yes, a director, you need to know how to communicate effectively with your team, but also the director is stepping in every single role to oversee it. They do, actually. There are some that do. I can't speak for everybody, but I know, like, for sure, folks like Jordan Peele, Scorsese, I can't think of anybody else off my head, but like those are like artists, you know what I mean? So like they have a very particular vision. So a lot of those movies that they put out in the early days, especially those older cats, they was everywhere. They had a hand in like every pot as much as they could. Now, probably not so much. You know, but there are some films that carry that weight. And I'm not trying to say like, oh, you know, this looks pretty decent, man. I'm feeling it. It's I got distracted looking at the kind of zoomed out really quick. So yeah, like I get what you're saying, right? Because one person didn't make the film. Obviously, there is a team, there's staff that's on board, right? From the artists that work on specific areas to the PAs that run around and get people coffee, right? It's a machine. But at the helm, there is that one person that put it all together, and without them, you know what I'm saying? Because like the dude that's doing the Foley work is not he. Let me put it this way: the person that is the Foley artist, for instance, more than likely is not capable of being a multi-hyphenated director. Not saying it's not possible, but we all have specific roles for a reason, right? And I think about where like I've been too, where I've been part of a team, and I know like if I'm in that particular role, that's what I'm there for. And I wouldn't say like, oh, without me, this thing would fall apart, right? Because I'm not the director, I'm not the leader. I didn't put the program together, I didn't put the movie together, I didn't put the whatever project together. I hope I'm making sense. But I do enjoy the conversation though, because I understand what you're saying. But it's what I'm saying is like I don't believe that it's feasible, because you have hundreds of people. That's why we have credits. You have hundreds of people working on so many of these things, video games, media abroad, you know. So for like that Kojima example, like you're not going to see somebody highlight it and it's like, oh, this is character designer number 52 and we need to, you know what I mean, give them a trophy and an award, because that's just not feasible. Could we do better to recognize people? Absolutely, because I think if we did put faces to names, in a ephemeral way, or however you want to see it, I think people would have a better understanding of how so many of these things that we consume, how so much media we consume is made. And then you wouldn't have things where people just talk recklessly and callously about all these projects, right? And nothing is without criticism, for sure, but like, we've all seen people get like really nasty about something they didn't like. And it's like, would you say that to a person's face if you knew the people, if you were in front of that group of people, you know? What time is it? Oh, I have to get out of here. I thought I was gonna have more time to do the mask, but that's just gonna be for something else. For instance, West Anderson. I'm gonna read this last point because I do have to go. Take Wes Anderson, he has a specific vision, but to carry out that vision, he would still rely on other people to bring that vision alive, even if a director is the most hands-on people still. Yeah, no, I'm not disagreeing with you. Like every example that we both brought up, I'm not disagreeing. Whether it's Wes Anderson, whether it's Martin Scorsese, whether it's Jordan Peele, whether it's Hideo Kojima, you know what I mean? Like we are cognizant and aware that there's hundreds of people working on these projects. However, if this person was not at the helm, it wouldn't be where it is. It's like if somebody was building a rocket ship and they came up with a new propulsion system, right? Yes, they need the people to help with that propulsion system, but that was the person that came up with that idea in the first place. Could somebody else have come up with it? Maybe, possibly. But there's a reason why there are some people that are at specific levels than others. And that's why those people get the recognition. Same thing with that's with anything, really. You know, whether it's entertainment, whether it's politics, whether it's anything. But I do have to go, even though I am enjoying this conversation. I have somewhere I need to be. Otherwise I would stay on a little longer and try to like finish this particular the concept. We're finishing the concept. Before it says it falls in line with the great man myth. It falls too in line with the great man myth making for me. No, I understand that, you know, but that's just as someone who sees how some of these things come together, has been around folks who are doing like these bigger grand things, right? Like especially with projects that span across, you know, the country or around the globe, right? Like, for instance, I'm gonna say this last thing. I have a friend, colleague, who creates these incredible sculptures, these big, beautiful black women, like these faces, these heads. She can have somebody help her, you know, put it up somewhere, like display it, but she's the one that made it. Like, she can hire people to like move it, like break it down and move it to another location and build it back up, right? But like, she was responsible for that. They will still get credit for what they did, their hard work, but they weren't the ones who spent the time to toil with the concept, the design, the materials, the hours, the months of putting these pieces together. you know. So if it does fall into the great man myth or something along those lines, then that's probably what it is. That's just how I see it, just from my own experience and then what I've seen with other people who are doing big projects that require, you know, a little bit of help, right? It's the same thing with like Amy Sherrill, all these other artists that put on exhibitions at a grand scale. I think there was a whole controversy with Kende Wiley and his understudies about that. But yeah, I do have to go. For real. I am sorry. But we can pick this up definitely another time for sure. We can talk about it on Sunday too. If you want to chat about it in the artist circle, I think that'll be a great topic to get into among artists. But y'all, this is going to be it for me tonight and this week. There'll be more streams coming in the following week, so make sure you're subscribed to the channel. Make sure you are following me across all the social platforms, that you're connected with my website, habtunes.com/schedule. That way you keep up with anything and everything that I do whenever I go live, whenever I put up new videos, whenever I put out new art, when I'm getting new events scheduled and set up. But yeah, I hope you all have had a wonderful week thus far, and I hope going into this weekend that it continues to be well for you, whether it's productive or relaxing. I appreciate y'all spending time with me. I do. I really do. And I'm looking forward to sharing more things with y'all, having more conversations, and seeing this community grow, and really like getting to a place where, you know, we really just evolve in every aspect of our artistic practices and just in general with the things that we consume and like to do, you know. If you are, I'm trying to think, I was trying to be like, oh, here's some recommendations for things you can watch and read, but I'm not prepared for that. But maybe that's something I can start doing at the end of a stream or a video. I'll just give you recommendations for books or TV shows, video games, etc., etc. Pokemon ZA is really fun. I've been playing that. Pokemon ZA is fantastic so far. But yeah, thank you all for coming. More Moniqua soon. If you're on the Patreon side, we'll be having some Patreon-only streams and YouTube members-only streams where we talk about and show this project a little bit more. But yeah, that's going to be it. Have a great Thursday. You guys are fantastic. You're the best. You're the best. You're the best. And until next time, stay rad, stay dope, stay gold. And yeah, we out.
Pacha pacha.